Back in the early days of decentralized finance, earning a return on your crypto was a brutal, sleepless grind. You had to constantly watch volatile markets and manually execute complex trades just to keep your head above water. The core concept of DeFi yield is straightforward. You lend out your cryptocurrency, or provide liquidity, which means supplying your tokens so others can trade against them, to decentralized protocols in exchange for interest. But the actual process was a nightmare of friction. Users burned hours manually claiming their rewards and reinvesting them, paying exorbitant network transaction fees, often called gas fees, every single time they clicked a button. Earning decentralized interest required constant vigilance. It was a highly inefficient, high-risk full-time job. The first major leap forward came with the creation of the Classic Vault, pioneered by early platforms like Yearn Finance and Beefy. Look at how this works. A smart contract, a self-executing piece of code on the blockchain, pools deposits from multiple users to execute a single predefined yield strategy together. The contract automatically harvests the earned rewards and immediately reinvests them back into the initial position. By moving funds as a single massive pool, rather than thousands of individual accounts, the vaults socialized the network costs. It drastically reduced the transaction fees each individual depositor had to pay. Software replaced manual labor. For the first time, crypto investors had a true set-it-and-forget-it wealth generation tool. But Classic Vaults carried a fatal flaw. Their investment strategies were entirely rigid, hard-coded directly into the protocol's software. If market conditions shifted violently, or if a specific lending pool became toxic with bad debt, the automated script couldn't recognize the danger. It couldn't adapt or reallocate the funds to safer ground. The only defense was relying on software developers to notice the problem, write a patch, and manually intervene during a rapid financial crisis. That created a massive systemic vulnerability. The system successfully automated the tedious labor of yield farming, but it left capital highly exposed to sudden market shocks because it lacked professional risk management. To fix this, platforms like Morpho introduced the Curator Vault. This design structurally separated the base lending infrastructure from the active investment strategy. This introduced the Curator. Curators are independent risk management firms, like Gauntlet or Steakhouse Financial, that step in to act much like traditional professional fund managers. Rather than writing new code, the Curator actively manages the vault. They set the risk parameters, vet safe collateral, and dynamically allocate capital across isolated lending markets as conditions change. Crucially, these curators never actually take custody or control of the underlying user funds. The underlying smart contract strictly enforces mathematical limits on what the curator is allowed to do. They can adjust rates and shift allocations, but they cannot run off with the money. By physically separating asset custody from investment strategy, decentralized finance created a system that offers active, professional risk management while remaining completely trustless. Even with professional risk management in place, mass adoption faced a steep, intimidating technical learning curve. Users had to navigate setting up self-custody wallets, securely storing cryptographic seed phrases, which are master passwords that control access to the funds, and bridging assets across different blockchain networks. Everyday consumers and traditional financial institutions require zero-friction entry points. They do not want a list of complex cryptographic chores. Despite solving the financial risk problem, Curator Vaults were still trapped behind an impenetrable wall of user experience friction. The final step to mass adoption was integrating these tools directly into centralized exchanges, with Kraken's DeFi Earn serving as the prime example. On the surface, the user experience is perfectly simple. A user clicks a button and starts earning yield, with absolutely zero technical knowledge required. On the back end, Kraken utilizes Veda to seamlessly route fiat deposits onto the Inc blockchain network. Advanced risk teams like Chaos Labs act as invisible curators, using AI models to securely allocate those funds into protocols like Aave and Morpho. What began as a high-risk manual chore for crypto insiders has now evolved into a robust invisible engine. It now seamlessly delivers institutional-grade yield to the masses.